Joining us now is RBC Capital Markets Global Head of Commodity Strategy, Helima Croft. You're in D.C., and Helima, earlier today, you spoke with Dr. Sultan Al-Jaber, who basically runs ADNOC and the UAE's energy strategy. He's arguably one of the most powerful people in the world in oil and gas. He's in the UAE. What did he tell you?
So first of all, we had a wide-ranging conversation with Dr. Sultan. He's also Minister of Industry and Advanced Technology in the UAE. He came out with the big headline of saying essentially that even if this war ends tomorrow, it will still take 4 months, Brian, to get back to 80% of pre-war flows through the Strait of Hormuz. And so, again, even if we get some miraculous breakthrough, and you mentioned in the setup that there have been these headlines saying, once again, over soon, and an anonymous Pakistani source saying within hours, even if we get to that point, it's still going to take 4 months. And he really emphasized the need to build more resilient systems going forward.
Aside from that, which is pretty, I mean, listen, that's a big comment. It's going to take months to get back to 80%, and yet the oil market, let's be clear, it's not at $50 a barrel. Okay, so we're a little bit below 100, right, and we could go back above 100 tomorrow if there's some other conflicting headline. What is your take on what we just showed on that map? I'm not saying everything's fine. I want to be very clear. You could have a missile launch tomorrow and things changed. But it does seem right now, based on that map, that ships are moving in ways they have not for weeks.
Well, Brian, I think the interesting question is a follow-on is this the normalization and consolidation of the Tehran toll booth? Because I am assuming, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, those ships are moving through the Iran channel, and they are likely paying a fee, or at least have negotiated the use of that channel with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Navy. That is the end state the Iranians are seeking at the end of this war, that they are essentially deciding every ship that traverses that critical waterway. The really important question, though, as I'm sitting in Washington, is that the end state that President Trump is going to agree to? Certainly, a number of Gulf countries have said that is not the way they want this war to end. They are seeking full normalization of flows to the Strait of Hormuz. So, yes, you're talking about 20-odd ships moving through. It used to be 100 on any given day. The question is this a sort of near-term ceiling? Again, is this going to be the shape of the future that every ship has to get approval from Iran to move through that waterway? And I don't think we'll normalize, Brian, at the 100-ship level if that is the case.
Fair enough, and they're paying that toll, which raises the cost for everybody. But, Helima, I've got to imagine, and I don't know where we might be able to see your interview with Dr. Sultan on the Atlantic Council, or maybe we can't watch it. We'll just rely on what you tell us. Did he talk about this new pipeline? Because the UAE has a pipeline already going across their peninsula. Right. They're building a second one, and if I know them and if I know that region, they're going to get this darn thing finished pretty quickly, and that's just going to maybe permanently or semi-permanently reduce the influence and the importance of the Strait and, more importantly, of Iran.
I mean, Brian, this is such a great question. You brought this up on your social media account yesterday. Are we basically at peak Hormuz? And Dr. Sultan really did emphasize how fast the UAE, their shovels are in the ground, are moving with this second Hormuz bypass pipeline. They are 50% of the way there in terms of completion, with expectation that second Hormuz bypass pipeline will be operational by 2027. So I think this is the future in the region. Basically, we saw it with the Saudis, with the East-West pipeline. Everyone's going to be trying to replicate that type of infrastructure project. How can you avoid Strait of Hormuz going forward? But again, there's no silver bullet for the summer in terms of bypass routes, and we are heading into peak demand season. And so every day, Brian, we don't have that strait fully open. There may be more ships moving through, but it's nothing close to the levels that we saw in February.